Shalom Aleichem, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Praise the Lord, everyone. Going for a walk on what is now a hot day. It's only going to get warmer, so not complaining, just trying to get used to it. Speaking about complaining, as we go for a walk here, have you ever felt like you need a change? You need a change, in your life, your career. You feel like maybe you're running into a wall, and you think to yourself, man, if I just had a change, if something was to be a little bit different, it'd be better for me. And I think we've all been there. I know I've been there. Change is good. Change is really good. But I do want to have a conversation with you because I think the way you approach change, I'm going to stop here real quick because of this truck. I think the way you approach change also says a lot about your character. So let me explain what I mean. When we feel that we need a change in our life, let's just say employment, for example. We say we need a change in our life in regards to our employment. Once we've actually made that decision, because sometimes we'll say it and, we're just having a bad day, or it's a Monday morning, or it's a Friday afternoon, right? But we don't really mean it. But once we've actually made the determination, hey, I need a change in my, let's just say, employment, what starts happening as you're preparing to make that change, you start looking, resumes, things like that, you've had it. If you're not careful, you start despising the current employment that you have. Your productivity level starts going down. And the reason that happens is because you're fed up and you decided, I'm going to make this change. I'm looking for a new job anyway, so I don't care. Well, I want to talk to you because first and foremost, you have to remember that you are a child of God. And regardless of what's happening in terms of your employment, regardless of how you're feeling about all of that, you have to remember that the employment that you currently have, it's a blessing from God. He's blessing you. You have a job. It's putting food on the table, clothes on your back. It's keeping a roof over your head. So you have to be very careful not to despise what you currently have. Despising what you currently have could actually get you into a situation where things aren't going to turn out the way you think that they're supposed to. Morning. When I look at not despising what you have, I think of Moses. Moses comes to mind. Because the Bible does say that as he's leading the children of Israel, they get themselves in this situation where they are at the Red Sea. Their back is up against the wall of the Red Sea, and you have Pharaoh and his armies coming to get them. And the only thing that Moses has is his staff. Whether you want to call it a shepherd's staff or you just wanted to call it just a regular walking stick, you pick, your choice, no problem. But that's what he has. He doesn't have anything else. And I want you to remember this story because what God does, he uses his miraculous power. God uses his miraculous power. And he tells Moses, what do you have in your hand? And he said, well, I have a staff. And God tells Moses, well, this is what you're going to do. That staff, which was a walking stick, was all that God needed in order to make the supernatural take place. Now, what would have happened if Moses would have despised what he had? What would have happened if, when God asked Moses, what do you have in your hand? Moses says, well, I just have this stupid walking stick, this ridiculous piece of wood. And God tells him what to do. And Moses says, oh, this is dumb. This is wood. And, how is this going to work? Blah, blah, blah. Why don't you give me, we're fighting these Egyptians. Why don't you give me an airplane, give me a helicopter, or get me something so we can win? If Moses would have gotten that attitude, I don't know what would have happened. But I thank God that Moses did not despise what he had. Was it time for a change? Of course. It was time for them to get out of Egypt. It was time for them to have liberty in the Lord. But in that process, Moses had to use what he had. So I want to encourage you this morning. Yes, I know you feel like it's time for change. And it probably is. But don't despise what you have right now. So whether it's your employment, whether it's, I don't know, maybe the congregation that you're at right now, I don't know. Maybe friendships, time for a change. Until that time actually comes to pass, don't despise what you have. Thank God for it. Like I mentioned before, that job that you're getting ready to leave for another one, and that's great, get a better job, and that's great. But that job that you're getting ready to leave has provided. God has given you that job to provide for your family. Those friends that you're getting ready to cut and to move, forward from, don't despise them, because God has used them to get you through some trying situations. The church that you're planning on leaving, to go to another church, if that's, what the decision is that you're going to make, don't despise that congregation, because that congregation, whether you want to believe it or not, was with you through some hard times. So all I'm saying is this: change is good and change is inevitable, but it is how we go forward in change. It's how we accept it. It's how our attitude is that really determines the character of who we are. So keep that in mind. Everything that has happened in your life, you have seen the hand of God in it. Don't despise it. And I just pray whatever change you're going to make in your life, I thank the Lord for the chapter that's closing. And I pray that the new chapter that's going to be written in your life be filled with blessing, with joy, and with peace. We love you all. As always, make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. Shalom, shalom.